Hello, hello. Welcome back to the People's Card Shop stream. And this is Alan versus Clinton. Alan is playing Volibear, and Clinton is playing Irelia, and we are getting into the early turns of this game. And here it is, a double boot start from Clinton. That is a interesting start, but oftentimes Irelia, what it wants to do is it wants to set up a bunch of early gears, so it kind of gives the Irelia something immediately to do. And Alan is going to be playing Volibear. Volibear is kind of a rogue strategy. If you guys don't know what Volibear does, it is whenever a mighty unit comes into play, you can tap him to channel an exhausted rune, so he's able to get to big mana very quickly. And this is it. This is Clinton's turn. He has a lot of available runes and 2 boots. He'll be able to target this Irelia multiple times, causing it to move many times. So let's see how he'll be able to navigate this. Oftentimes, Irelia versus Volibear, the Irelia deck wants to get an early point lead because I don't think it can keep up with the sheer amount of bodies that the Volibear deck will come through.
Yeah, and early boots just makes Irelia like such a different deck in the early game, being able to score so much point tempo that normally if they don't have the boots, it's a scary deck, but boots make it that you're scoring that extra point every single turn. It's a lot to get over.
And also, here's a key thing here. Both players have Aspen's Climb as a start. It's going to 10, baby. We got to win real slowly. And the thing with it is, I think the longer the game goes on, the more likely the volleyball player will be winning it.
I've honestly never seen a double climb game.
Those games are crazy, but usually they're incredibly slow because they're like two of like, what is it called? Aurora decks fighting each other. And here we go. Just like we said, it's the namesake of the deck, Dazzling Aurora. If you don't know what it does, is every single at the every end step, he's going to reveal the top card of his deck until he reveals a monster, and he'll be able to play it. Oftentimes, this is the linchpin of the Volibear deck. It has a lot of big stats, but it's kind of fair. It's only summoning a big monster every turn. But with the use of something like Dazzling Aurora, you're able to summon a 1 free big monster a turn, and then on your turn, you get to summon a monster. So it's 2 big monsters, so hopefully that's broken enough.
He got it so early because he double rammed with the crystals.
Ooh, and a Get Excited from Alan targeting the Irelia. If you don't know what Get Excited does, it discards a card and is able to deal damage up to the energy that that card costs. It's a great card versus Irelia because it basically works like the MF spell where you kind of have to say, you don't have to tell them what you're discarding, and they kind of have to under or overshoot it. But one of the things that it can be negated by is a Defy. Defy coming from Clinton, being able to negate something 4 or lower with 1 power pip. And the end phase, it is going to summon a Yone, and Yone is actually a newer addition to these Volibear decks. What Yone does is when it runs into a battlefield, it can deal damage to a unit in base. A very awesome combo with the signature spell of the Volibear unit. And a GA coming down for Clinton. GA being a great card in this matchup. Oftentimes, Clinton doesn't have a lot of monsters, so this GA will do double duty, protecting the Irelia, but also just being a pseudo monster for him. This Irelia deck oftentimes wants to build kind of like a Voltron, stack up a bunch of gear onto a character and making it really hard. However, this Volibear deck summons a bunch of big units, so even though Clinton might get this Irelia kind of big, I don't know how long it can fight off all these units. But a charm here from Clinton, being able to clear this board, makes it very helpful for him. And now Alan is on the back foot, with Clinton basically being able to score 2 points a turn because of this Boots of Swiftness. It really lets him get the game going on. Just want to say thank you to all our watchers. Appreciate you guys for coming in. And here's the thing, it is a battle of 2 different dichotomies. Clinton here only has 3 mana, but Alan has a cavalcade of runes available. Ooh, a second copy of Dazzling Aurora here. So if I was Alan, I'm most likely hoping to just hit some Dead Bloom Predators if he does play it. Sometimes these orange decks do not play Dead Bloom Predator, but let's see what Alan is going to summon off of this Dazzling Aurora.
Yeah, it's interesting, the Yone and the Aurora deck, but it's such a heavy combo with Volibear himself that it's nice. I wonder if he has any more mid-range minions or just the Yone. It's kind of like in Master Yi how they ran the Tasty Fey Folk because you're just so good in Master Yi.
Yeah, the best of Vegas winner was more so a mid-range deck that used Aurora as kind of like this value engine because it was really trying to set up this 1-2 punch of the Yone plus the signature spell of Volibear to kind of sneak a free win here.
Very interesting card, Minotaur Reckoner. Units cannot move to a base, so you cannot retreat. It's just pretty strong against the Irelia if she didn't have 70 boots attached.
Yeah, normally it is a counter against Irelia being running away, but with this boots, he's able to just keep scoring points here.
The minions are just not big enough, even though their effects are so good. I think, yeah, if the Irelia didn't have the boots for sure, this would be like stop her dead in her tracks. But being able to gank from battlefield to battlefield, you don't have to worry about the Minotaur at all.
Reckoner being a really strong card because normally in any other deck it's just a 5 mana 5 might with an upside, but in Alan's deck it's actually a 5 mana ramp spell with a body attached to it. That's one of the cool things about Volibear is you often staple this mobilize effect onto it. Ooh, and this rarely if ever happens. Volibear is coming down. It's going to be the 10 mana Volibear. I believe it's every single time he moves, he deals 5 damage split up. Yep, with deflect too. Oftentimes they play this Volibear just because it's a cheaper Volibear compared to the 12. 12 is a huge ask sometimes. And here's the thing. Alan needs to figure out how he's able to fight over this Irelia because right now, stat-wise, it's only 10 might with the Reckoners.
He has a lot of mid-range units in this deck.
Yeah.
Which I don't mind because you get the ramp early on. You don't necessarily need like the biggest units to come out of Aurora just to be tempoing out.
That's honestly why I really like Volibear in general, is because it doesn't necessarily need Aurora to go ahead and win. And even without Aurora, you don't even need the ramp spells because if you can just keep summoning 5 drops, you can contest the board and slowly ramp up to what you need to get to. But 6 points normally is game point here, but the double aspirants climb makes it to where he needs 10 points to win this game. Let's see how Clinton can solve this. One of the biggest issues Clinton has here is it's a ticking time bomb. Normally, Irelia is good on 1v1s, but she is notoriously bad if you just have a bunch of units coming in running at this Irelia. Look at how much might he has. He has 18, 28, 34 might on board. Clinton only has one really sticky creature.
Question. When Volibear Red Volley pushes in and does his ability, if it's 5 damage split up, if he chooses Irelia once, is it a 1 damage burst of 5, or does he have to do 5 separate instances of 1?
I'm not 100% sure. I would assume that it's not split up 100% as 5 individual.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. It was like the one big one, but like when I was reading it.
And a Lonely Poro coming up here, scoring the 7th point here. Still 2 turns away from it being game. The biggest issue is Clinton cannot run away from these Taurus Reckoners.
Yeah, having that the Reckoner in the back, 2 of them, they're never going away. You can just keep them in the back to make sure that Irelia cannot murder people in base ever.
And I think this game really came down to one thing. It's the double aspirants climb. Normally, I think Irelia is not necessarily favored, but it can win the game really fast compared to this Volibear deck. But when both players make it to where it's a whole turn ahead from the normal win condition, it really plays into Volibear's strategy of being a late game powerhouse deck.
Irelia is at 7, but it's going to be really hard to make it to 10 because there's so much might on the board right now that we can definitely take out the Poro, but it depends on what Clinton has in his hand. He has a lot of mana up for buff spells on Irelia in order to help him out. But remember, Fight or Flight is not a card anymore.
And Alan just thinking about what he can do to get rid of this board. Honestly, stat-wise, he is checking Clinton for a lot.
I don't like overextending, but also if we don't send in enough, it might be kind of annoying, but
Yeah,
he has so much mana up for protection as well himself.
we have to play around stuff like Rebuke, but also Alan can have stuff like Get Excited. The cool thing about this Volibear deck is red provides a lot of removal and a lot of interaction that the orange decks don't necessarily have all the time. Ooh, but I can see a card that Clinton could potentially sneak a win with here. He has the Draven Audacious in his hand, able to score a point by winning it in combat. So if he could just get to maybe 9 points, a Draven running up and winning one fight could potentially skew the tide of battle here. But a Defiant Dance being activated, it's going to pump up this Irelia +3, and it's going to minus most likely the Ferris Forerunner to go down to 3. So it's going to be 12 to, I believe, 4, 6, 8, 9, 12. It's going to be 12 to 12 currently, if my math is serving me correct.
Going to use Irelia to get
Okay,
one more
and
target.
then now it's going to be 13 because of the sneaky effect of whenever you target something. Let's see if Alan has any damage tricks or anything like that.
Oh, he does have a Rebuke in his hand as well.
Yeah, I like that the Rebuke. Honestly, if Clinton wins this fight, one Rebuke on any of those creatures could really turn the tide if Alan runs all 3 in, because Alan can't just run in one because it's too big already. So this Rebuke backed up with this Defy might be a hold. I do believe it's going to be 13 to 12. Oh, no, it's not going to be 13 to 12. I believe it's going to be 12 to 12. Actually, I did it wrong. It's +3 to Irelia, but -2 to the other creature. It's not -3. So it is going to be a push back here. So this Rebuke isn't going to be as strong here. And right now, Clinton still isn't even on game point.
Oh, yeah. Because even next turn, if he goes in, Rebukes, ganks over with the ready, he's still only going up to 9.
He needs to be able to get that hold, but how can you hold against 2 copies of Dazzling Aurora playing his final swan song? But the Dazzling, not Dazzling Aurora.
1 point on the board.
On the board.
This is going to be a long game. We got 10 more to go. The Aurora player can definitely do it, but if he messes up one time, just one turn for him to get blown out by a big Irelia jumping all over the place. And we know that these Aurora targets aren't actually that huge. They are a lot of mid-range target. He definitely has bigger targets in the deck than the Minotaurs and the Forerunner. Those are probably the tiniest units in his deck.
Oh, man, he's about to draw 4 cards. If you don't know what that unit does, for whenever that unit is summoned, for every mighty creature on the field, he'll be able to draw 1 card because of the 2 Reckoners and the... the 2 Reckoners and the Dead Bloom Predator, he'll be able to draw 4, as there are 4 Mighty cards on the field. That's one of the scariest things about Volibear. It is one of the most insane decks to play late game. But you just have to get to that point. This is such a strong showing for the Volibear deck, but let's see what happens next game when it's not double Aspirant's Climb.
Do you leave that Minotaur in the back, or you push him up?
I'm not going to lie. I really feel as if right now it kind of doesn't matter.
I feel like the 5 might in the big unit pile on the top.
Well, I was going to say the effect doesn't matter. I want to stack the units as fat as possible because from my experience at least, Irelia has a huge problem with dealing with multiple big creatures.
I don't necessarily like the split that much because it gives Irelia one chance to get really fat and get in there. But actually, we're not on game point, so it's not that...
It is not game point,
It's not that scary. We could play a little safe like this, keep her off of it for now. We don't want her to get to 8 and then have to just get to 9 and hold. So we're trying to split up our stuff over here. What is a hidden that a Volibear deck would play? Orange-red.
Orange-red. I'm not 100% sure. We probably would lose the Volibear because we don't know that answer.
Dude, it's a Teemo.
I wish it was purple. It could have been Teemo. All right, and untap off of this Irelia. It's going to go to 5. With 2 boots on it, it's at 9 right now. So it answers 1 big unit each, but he doesn't. Again, Irelia has such a tough time with fat units.
You think it's the Cub?
No, because Cub would get revealed.
Here to help.
Oh, here to help plus
That's crazy.
Here would be very, very, very strong.
Because then he can summon a 6 cost unit. It's probably here to help. Which is this card. It could be the Storm.
It could be Bushwhack randomly, just to scare your opponent.
Could be this.
Yeah.
Subtle Storm. This could be a random Bushwhack. I really wanted to be here to help, though.
That'd be awesome. But it also tells us that he most likely main Bryn here, because Bryn here to help is a combo. If you here to help a Bryn here, they can't play cards for the rest of the turn.
That is wild.
And here's Clinton trying to figure out how he can beat this board here. Let's do some math. 5 plus 8, 13, 21 on the bottom side, and 16.
Well, as soon as
17.
As soon as he has a reactable option, we can just use our hidden. Oh, so we might be going for the setup or for the game? He might be going just for setup.
And that's the thing with it, is Clinton could hold off for a couple turns. It's going to take 3 more cycles for Allen to win this game.
Yeah, get your mana. But it's like, as soon as he plays his first, ability that you can react to, you're just going to do the Here to Help Thunder Song, and that's like, you got to use all your stuff right now.
Yeah, immediately. If that is the combo he has.
I feel like that deck should have that. That seems crazy. It is also not that good of a Aurora target, so it might not be in the deck. It could just be a Teemo, though, so.
It could just be. Sadly, it is not the correct colors for the Teemo.
No Teemo.
And Allen just has to make sure that he does not punt this game, because right now he is in the driver's seat. Double copies of Dazzling Aurora. And here it is, a Ferris Forerunner coming down. Ferris Forerunner, when it dies, is going to summon 2 mechs back onto the field. And it is going to be a challenge targeting most likely this Irelia. But let's see what Allen does here. lot of options here. The problem is if Clinton uses a buff spell to protect it here, the buff spells are on limited supply. So, okay, I like that play from it because I don't like using the buff spells because, you only have a limited supply in the Irelia deck, and then once you're out of buff spells, you can't really contest big creatures.
This is so rough because even if he double conquers, it's very hard for him to win the game. That Draven needs to stay alive because we can't go 2 turn cycles to win. We need to all in on 1 turn and win. That Draven is crucial to the game plan. Oh my gosh, how many cards are he going to draw? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's drawing 7 cards. Bro, he's going to deck himself out. Stop drawing.
That's a point.
that would be the craziest way for him to lose.
For to get an extra point, yeah.
I think that might happen, though. His deck count is so low. No creatures
It
left?
might just be over. Not over, but, it might just be shuffle his deck, and then that's good. Well, at least we see a light at the end of the tunnel. This is it. That is all the creatures Alan has.
He really doesn't have that big of a creature count. It's a very heavy mid-range, which is very cool because you can fight in the early game, and then Aurora's just tempoing out your mid-range creatures. You're not so dead if you don't get it.
Very solid strategy. I do love mid-range strats.
No Thundersong, though. It might not even be here to help. It might just be a Timo. Might be the damage spell. Deal 4 to an attacking unit.
So let's see how Clinton is able to win this game here. So there is a pocket out for Clinton. If Clinton is able to win on one side and then on the other side win the combat with Draven, he has lethal here. And he has collected a huge amount of cards. I can see here he has double rebuke and 2 pump spells. But it might not be enough. Clinton does have to wait. The good thing we know is Alan will not develop his board anymore except for the cards in his hand. So if Clinton can kind of slowly chip away at this board, it will be everything. Ooh, and I think the sabotage is going to be the nail in the coffin. The thing with it is Clinton needs to set up a critical mass for a huge combo turn. But if Alan is able to attack his hand and take out one pivotal piece, it might be donezo because Clinton needs to set up a huge jigsaw. Ooh, and there it is. This is actually going to be lethal next turn. If he plays Trinity Force and puts it on a creature that does not die, that will be... Oh, no, not game point just yet. I forgot it's double Aspirin's Climb. So the Trinity Force will make it basically a 2-turn clock instead of a 3-turn clock. So that's great for Alan, but a horror story for Clinton. And I'm not going to lie, this game started so good for Clinton, basically being 5-0. But 5-0 means nothing when double Aspirin's Climb slows the game to a turtle's pace.
Honestly, he didn't even win normally, though. He's only at 7. He got the double Aurora is so strong.
He could, legitimately, he could have won. He could have won one of the turns earlier if it was just to 8.
Yeah, he just decided to have the turn of setup for it to push more.
And there we go. Alan taking it down. Double Aspirin's Climb, making the game a little too long for Clinton's own good. Hoisted by his own petard there. Let's see if Clinton will be able to play another battlefield.
We did have a repair earlier, so I forgot to change the timer. So they actually do have a little bit more time that's on the clock here. And they're going to need it because this next couple games might take like 7 years.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least it's not double Aspirin's Climb this time. But the cool thing about it is, well, not the cool thing, but I'm trying to figure out what battlefields they're going to use here. Normally, the what is it called? The Irelia deck will use a battlefield, like something like what's that? Grove of the God Willow or some type of hold battlefield. Now that a lot of the good battlefields have not good, a lot of the good ones, but some good ones
Yeah.
have been eliminated. Um, the best thing that Allen might have
Oh,
this
wait,
game.
did we see what hidden there was before I forget?
No, we never actually got to
Oh
see it.
my
You never
gosh.
flipped it up.
Sorry, continue.
I will literally ask Allen what it is next time because I'm interested too. And the thing about it is the Volley Bear strat is usually just play 3 field spells that are very uncomfortable for their opponent. So it's probably going to be like something like Sigil of the Storm, where whenever you conquer, you have to pay 1 power. Or it could be.
Do you think it's a lair because Irelia is such a strong champion right now?
I definitely think it should be Valma's Lair. That is a battlefield that is great for the Volley Bear for 2 reasons. One, it's able to kind of keep the units at a battlefield so your Volley Bears can overtake it. But also, Irelia is just a deck that wants to retreat, barring something like a Boots. They'll be unable to leave. It's a really interesting matchup, Volibear versus Irelia. Normally, Irelia is the bigger deck, like the deck that is scary late game. But compared to Volibear, it pales in comparison. But let's see, without double Aspirant's Climb, this game is going to end a lot sooner. And how will it end? Will it be the Volibear or will it be Irelia? Let's find out.
Yo, Ed, you like the timer?
32:15.
It's a Volibear.
Oh, the timer's Volibear, yeah. It's Volibear time.
That was a mistake.
Just want to say
It's
thank
volley
you to
time.
all the people watching here. We stream every 6:30. Apologies also. We haven't streamed in the last 2 weeks. Life has gotten us by. But now here we are ready to stream for you guys. If you don't know who we are, my name is Ed and I'm joined with Michael. We are the duo Conquer and Hold. If you like us yapping, we have YouTube videos. We have a lot of cool stuff and we also upload our VODs all the time. That's the only reason why volleyball games take forever is because they let their opponents score so high up, and then they have to start winning. If they were keeping parity all the time with it, it would have been awesome.
Yeah, it's like 2 games wrapped into one.
Yeah. And here we go. It is going to be a Targon's Peak for Allen and a Sigil of the Storm for Clinton, and that's surprising. Sigil of the Storm is a battlefield that kind of doesn't want you to conquer, and Irelia needs to be conquering as much as possible right now to try to win the game. And both of these decks are trying to do very different things in the early game. Clinton is either trying to set up something like a Lonely Poro to get the beats going, or to set up some gears to basically set up a accelerated Irelia, while Allen is just trying to find ramp spells. And the cool thing about the Volibear deck is monsters are also ramp spells.
Is it common for Aurelias to have Aspirant's Climb? I didn't really think so.
Yeah,
but
not pre-ban list, but post-ban list.
Post-ban?
It is the common one. So it is going to usually be Sunken Temple and Aspirant's Climb, and then depending on what is, what is their fancy, what the next battlefield is. And a stack deck from Clinton here, and a not the fastest ramp spell, but a mobilize. We are going to be at 6 mana for Allen. 6 is a big, big number because it lets us play one of the best, most overpowered red cards, Ferris Forerunner. And 4 mana for Clinton. If I was him, I'm most likely just putting that Boots down. It's the best thing you could do to set up for the Irelia turn next turn, and that's what he does. The cool thing about the Boots turn is that you have 1 mana open for something like Defy.
yeah, a Forerunner's cool because then you go down to 5, but you're still on tempo to get the Aurora.
Yeah. That's the awesome part about it. And like we said, it's going to basically be recycle and then tap the Volibear, get a new rune on top. So it is essentially not a ramp spell, but it is a no power Ferris Forerunner, and that is absurd. The crazy thing about the Ferris Forerunner is it keeps this Irelia in check. With the boots, Irelia only goes up to 6. And you know it's better than one boot, a double boot. It's DOS boot time with 3 mana open for Clinton. The scary part is Allen gets to be the aggressor. Last game, he was not the aggressor, and he still won. This time, he gets to put on the aggro beats 4 turns earlier. Is this going to be a death sentence for Clinton?
A lot of setup. As soon as that Irelia comes down, it's pretty protected. But Allen he's just going on ahead here.
And if I'm Allen, I'm just trying to summon a unit every single turn because it's like we said, Irelia has a tough time paddling one big monster over and over and over and over again. It kind of just wants to win a 1v1 and then just run back and forth. But if you just keep applying threats over and over that basically require Irelia to have a pump spell every time, the Irelia will eventually run out of pump spells.
Oh, another runner. Dude, runner is such a nasty card.
Especially when you don't play power for it.
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite things about this Volibear deck is, you know, he didn't do the normal curve of play into Aurora, but against a lot of decks, against a Kaisa deck, against like a Victor, not necessarily a Victor deck, but maybe against a Victor deck because double Forerunner is broken against Victor. But like, he's able to kind of make a different game plan for himself here.
I wonder also what side deck options are in that Volibear deck. Some different big or mid-range minions in his side deck for specific matchups to go in there.
I know a lot of unyielding spirits. Camel could definitely be an option. And here we go. The boots is going to be attached to this Irelia, and because of the Irelia leader ability, it might be able to untap if Clinton does choose so.
A crazy card Voli has access to is, I'm blanking on the name, but the AoE gear destruction.
Yes, Thermo Beam is a very strong card.
That's probably in his deck for sure,
yes.
or at least in his side. Yeah, Thermo Beaming Irelia goes hard.
Very, very, very awesome.
And they think they're safe. They have their boots. They have GA, own Hourglass. Get them out of here.
And here we go. It's going to be 7 into the 6 of... Oh, it's going to be 8, actually. Target untap. Yeah. It's going to be 8 to Allen's 6 right now, but it's going to get 6 in the back line. And here we go. Clinton gets to score his first point, and he gets to set up a flag now and be happy that he's finally scored some points. And he's most likely going to score a second point here with this second copy of Boots. It looks kind of strange that he's going to deramp so much, but he has to apply the second copy of Boots because right now, this Irelia is only at 8 without any buffs. So it does threaten a lot. Ooh, and not running into the Sigil of the Storm here. That's really interesting that he had Sigil of the Storm and chose not to, and made that his, his battlefield in general. Because I feel like you want to be conquering with this Irelia deck. But I know the Irelia deck often plays like a slower control game versus most decks, but this is not a deck you want to play a slow control game versus. And here we have 10 mana for Allen. So Dazzling Aurora can come down. The Volibear unit can also come down to set up a fat hold here. What unit is Allen going to play?
The draw for each Mighty card's kind of lame because you only get one draw off it if that's your only big creature in hand.
You get 2 because Ferris Forerunner is on the field.
Yeah, that's still a good play.
Okay, so next turn is going to be horrifying for Clinton. Allen is setting up, I believe it's called Magma Drake or Magma Worm.
That was all units enter.
Yeah, one up. You passed it.
there.
Magma Worm. Yes, it's the Magma Worm. Other friendly units enter ready. This card is very, very, very scary. Not necessarily the turn you play it, but next turn, Alan gets to unleash. He gets to throw as many cards onto the field, and they all come into play ready. And the coolest part is you have a Ferris Forerunner there. She can ram in, summon 2 tokens that are ready, and ram in yet again. And Alan moving up to the Sigil of the Storm, trying to conquer it. But what is he going to cast here? Is it going to be a Ride the Wind? It might be. Oh, no, it might be a Gust. It is going to be a Ride the Wind.
Okay. I think it's 1 from the target, 1 from the ready. So 6, 10.
And Ride the Wind, if you guys don't know what that does, it readies a unit and then moves it to a location. So it's going to do a double targeting for the Irelia leader, for the Irelia unit, because you get to untap it and you get to target it for Ride the Wind.
We still get to get a point this turn, though. We can go to the Sigil.
And that makes a lot of sense why Clinton did not run up to score that second point, because he wanted a bait for Ride the Wind here.
Did he de-ramp off the Sigil?
He did de-ramp off the Sigil.
Yeah, because he had 5, right?
He had 5, yep. And Allen really, and here's the thing, not having something like a Dazzling Aurora really showing that, playing this 1 unit a turn game might be a little too fair.
But that is the turn he played the worm.
Magma Worm, yeah.
So
next turn is going to go crazy.
It's going to go good next turn. Because you can slam everything in and not be scared, and then just have the tokens fall back to capture the Sizzle later.
I'm not going to lie. If I was Clinton, I would think of maybe trying to move my unit back, maybe. Because it's really,
Ooh,
really,
Charm
really
is
scary.
really nice here if he has it.
Charm on the snake. I'm in the Magma Worm would be insane.
Nice. This is really rough, though. That was the whole thing we set up, was the Magma Worm getting ready for our next turn. If it goes down here, it takes us back a lot. We lost 1 full turn. We do have 4 mana, but Clinton does have a Defy in his hand, I believe. Get excited just to be defied is pretty annoying. On guard. Target +1. Solo, so +2, so +3. And we can if we want. No, Aurelia's tapped, so we can't do the Aurelia. So it's just +3. I think a challenge.
A challenge targeting his Ferris. And then has to pay the deflect cost. Remember, deflect is a trigger.
He does have the Defy, so he's going to defy that. This could be a big bait if he had Get Excited in his hand, which is the better play for sure. If he has to Get Excited here, it is so good right now.
Another challenge also works.
Okay. The Get Excited would be so nasty.
Because I got to keep the thing. But we can see in Clinton's hand, he has it. He was looking for it all week.
Another Defy?
No, not so fast.
Not so fast.
The speed limit's going a little too far.
Honestly, we took a lot of Irelia's mana away. It's not that bad. They're fully tapped out. They're only at 4. It's not terrible.
If Alan just plays a Dead Bloom Predator, that is the cleanest out one of the cleanest out to this Irelia.
Aurora Gamble, summon Dead Bloom?
That would be awesome.
Are we not on 9? 1, 2. What are we at? 1, 2. We're at 8.
And with one card only, this is really looking sketch for Clinton here.
Oh, we got the 2-up because we conquered the Targons. And we have the Zonia still up. Just hidden in the shuffle a little bit there.
1, 2, 3, 4. The problem here is Alan can't play something like a Dazzling Aurora this turn. So he has to take it. He has to take a turn off to kind of rebuild up. But this Irelia is going to keep on chugging. It's going to get 2 points with this boots every single turn.
We are just throwing it away to get some point tempo, and then we'll have 2 little guys to score again.
Yeah, but then the good thing about activating the Catalyst this turn is that it did give him enough for next turn. Aurora will be alive no matter what.
I actually don't even mind throwing the Forerunner away because it's 2 points. We're conquering now. We die for free, but then we get the 2 guys, and we can use a little guy to conquer the open battlefield, get the Targons up so we can keep some mana up for our opponent's turn.
4 mana. Is it going to be a Stellar Corn Herder? Stellar Corn Herder is really scary for one reason. Now this Irelia, the shields are down. Only a Zonia Hourglass to protect what is happening here.
We always have the option to move back down to base. Now, while I am completely fine with tempoing out and moving the Irelia back, I do think it is probably always best to keep up all of your mana to bait your opponent.
Now, because next turn is game. Like, not game, but like next turn
No, like,
threat is game. Yeah.
Conquer first, keep the mana open, summon the herder after.
After, yes. I would like that.
Oh, but he has to recycle to untap.
Yeah, but you can just flip the mana.
True. Yeah. You should have. Yeah. Because then your opponent knows you're tapped out. It's like a minute thing, but I think it is very important to do plays like that.
Proper play is most important. And Alan moving up, and at least there's no ride the win here.
Like the little guy. Put both little guys in. Okay.
So what I think Alan is going to be trying to do is just having a sick hold on the bottom battlefield. He's basically saying, you know what? I'm going to make it to where you need 2 turns to win instead. And I'll try to fight off this Irelia next turn by setting up a fat thing here.
Oh, he doesn't have it. He just has the Voli.
And that's the thing with the Volibear deck. The Volibear deck really is at the mercy of the cards it draws. Ooh, and a Defiant Dance. That would be a great card for Clinton to have.
Herder is going to come in so clutch. Being able to draw multiple cards.
Now let's see what the Herder does. We're at 5.
You don't necessarily have to rush it. We can Herder in, Herder back.
Yeah. Because honestly, it's on Alan to try to win this game here.
He has... It's hard for him to... He can't double conquer, so it goes to 5. Then he has to double conquer and go to 7. So we have 3 turns here in order to wiggle around with the Herder. Get some cards. There's 3 turns, no rush. Play it slow, get some advantage back.
And honestly, Clinton could try to win the game by just holding here. Volibear is not known for a lot of move-centric strategies. And that looks like it was it. It is going to go to a game 3, and it's like I said, if it goes on 4 extra turns, I'm pretty sure I'm going to bet all my money on Volibear. But even when it looked like it was getting kind of scary, Clinton was just able to just keep on chugging, scoring 2, 2, 2, 2, and he ends up pushing it to a game 3 here. So if I was Clinton, it's most likely going to be a Sunken Temple game. Yep, I can see it right there. If you don't know what Sunken Temple is, it's actually going to benefit both players. It's going to benefit the Volibear, and it's going to benefit the Irelia. It is when someone conquers there, you could pay one. If it was a mighty creature, you get to draw a card. And yes, Geysers, I do believe he did miss a draw off of that. And it's going to be game 3 here. Volibear gets to go first. If Volibear can open up the amazing curve of a turn 3 Dazzling Aurora, if he can do that, it's very, very sketch. But Dazzling Aurora can be answered by a bunch of different cards. It can be answered by Adaptatron early from Irelia. So let's see if it's going to be the mid-range strategy or a rush down strategy that is going to be the one. And here it is, Forgotten Monument. If you don't know what Forgotten Monument, I think that's more of like a anti-Rek'Sai, anti-like Draven tech. But it's basically the first play. Both players cannot score there until their 3rd turn. So it's really, really good when you go second. But going first, you know, this Volibear is probably not going to score on that one either. So it's decent. With 14 minutes left on the clock, can these players push through and be able to get the win? Let's find out. And 3 mana, it's going to be Boots. All right, are we going to play a Catalyst here? All right, this is going to be not a turn 3 Dazzling Aurora, but maybe a turn 4 Dazzling Aurora. But if I was Clinton, I'm slamming this Irelia down right now, no cap. Ooh, 3. Maybe he's going to 3? And that what cost?
Recycle?
Ooh. It's going to be a Heart of Dark Ice. If you don't know what Heart of Dark Ice is, it is a gear that lets you basically every time you tap it, you get a targeted creature and give it 3 might. It is a renewable buff every single turn. It's actually, I think, going to be a very strong card versus this Volibear strategy. Being able to always have a +3 available on his turn is something huge for Clinton here. Now he can use the buff spells on his turn.
I have been kind of surprised the Heart has not found more success, because I feel like the 3 might every turn is so strong for 3 mana, because like it's an initial 3 for 3, which is already on rate, but then you get it every turn, so it's like there's no body to lose. You always have that might.
Being able to have a renewable source to untap Irelia over and over and over again is so strong.
Yeah, and targeting her, it's just 4. It's a 4 buff on Irelia specifically, which is really nice.
All right, Clinton. Slam her down. The queen's time is now.
I feel like these Minotaurs have been so underwhelming because he's always had the boots.
Yeah, boots is definitely a hard counter to the Minotaur. And honestly, Minotaur hasn't been as strong as it once was because fight or flight isn't as prevalent. Or prevalent at all. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
All right.
My favorite card.
Let's do some untapping and tapping. I'm very adamant that Clinton really should have last turn really pushed up that Irelia. Who cares if you deramp that bad? Against this Volibear deck, it is a ticking time bomb. You don't want to give them turns.
Yeah, you would have got point, then point for hold, move over, move back. You got 3 points, been in base. But then he would have stuck you up there. So actually, he unknowingly played around the Minotaur because he would have been stuck at the battlefield.
Here we go.
Honestly, with the ban list, I cannot believe they, like, all the cards they banned are cool, but, like, they left GA and Zonia's Hourglass alone. I think 6 copies of that effect in a deck is so oppressive.
True. But then also, like, you play like a fine line of like, you're not playing real monsters. You could potentially just not draw. You're making like an inconsistent deck. I'm, I'm,
How do
I'm
you feel about a limited list like Yu-Gi-Oh?
I don't like limited cards, and I was also gonna say I just don't like Irelia. There, I said it. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be brave. I'm not an Irelia stan. Every time I say these little viewpoints on Irelia, it's because I play tested against 1,000 times. But here it is, a Dead Bloom Predator coming in 7 into 8, perfectly clocks in this Irelia here, and it is gonna go down. GA down, GA down. It's pushing it back down. But the cool part about it is this Heart of Dark Ice is really scary. It'll be able to just move around. But Allen again showing the use of the battlefield of the hidden temple of the sunken temple, being able to draw a card because he won Conquer there. And the Minotaur going up to this hidden temple, being able to score this second point. All right, so this Irelia is going to be 7. If I was Clinton, I'm running my 7 into this Minotaur, and then I'm Heart of Dark Icing, running over, killing this Dead Bloom Predator. And here's the thing: if Clinton can just do that every single turn, we have a race.
He probably has another target. He targeted it first because he values the might. I think doing this plays around the challenge.
Yes.
Because if you go into the battlefield and then they challenge you, it's really unfortunate if you're not using the Heart of Dark Ice because it's not like a reaction speed thing.
And I like this play from Clinton. He is going over to the Sunken Temple first because most likely he is going to draw a card, which potentially will let him see more options. And that's a lot better than conquering the Forbidden Mountain Forbidden Mountain first and not seeing access to cards. And Azonius here. If Clinton could just keep on playing like protection gears, then maybe this Irelia dying every turn isn't that bad.
She is just a missile. Unfortunate, no extra targeting to get over to the monument to take out the Minotaur.
Yeah, that's why I really, really, really wanted to run this run up into the battlefield first with the Minotaur, and then Heart of Darter Ice to try to get both.
I agree. If you were scared of that, you could have dropped the Zonius first and then pushed in to C and then did your play. Oh my gosh, another one.
Dead Bloom Predator is a monster of a card here.
Well, at least it's not Aurora. That's how he's feeling. It's like, the Dead Blooms are annoying, but it's like, if we're going tit for tat like that and we're wasting the Hourglass, it's not that bad because we have like pump spells on her Irelia's turn, and we do have the Dark Ice anyway, which is kind of whatever. Ooh.
Let's see what Allen does here to this Defiant Dance. Now officially bigger than this Dead Bloom Predator.
Man, when you're just trying to have fun and you bring Rogue and then Irelia is your first match. I feel like, honestly, he hasn't had that many mid-range minions this game or Aurora. He's just working with not that much this game.
Yeah, Alan's literally just been summoning a creature every single turn. Ooh, and if you don't know what that does, it deals, I believe, 5 damage to a creature at a battlefield, but it's reduced for every for the might you have. So right now it is going to be 0.
Volibear is on that card, so belongs in that deck.
It is not looking good for Clinton.
Ooh, the get excited. And we have no protection right now. Wait, what happened? Why did the hourglass come back? Oh, yeah, okay.
I think it's because the Sky Splitter enough wasn't game, death, didn't kill it yet. And then Clinton thought it was going to be a trade, but Allen had the get excited the entire time. I think he was just checking for any type of like counterspell or any type of like jump or reaction.
Yeah, it makes sense. I'll throw away the Sky Splitter just to check for the counter.
Yeah, it's essentially free. You know what I mean? As free as a called shot would be. Another buff spell being drawn by Clinton. A On Guard is a fantastic draw because right now in this late game, Clinton needs to just have a surplus of effects that let him be able to target the Irelia to untap and tap himself again and again.
Honestly, I think it might not seem that good, but I feel like Irelia is such in the driver's seat right now with the amount of cards they have, and Volibear just hasn't shown anything that aggressive thus far. I like Malik's face in the camera, all zoomed in. he just bent over like that, so it was just his face in the player cam.
And a On Guard pumping up this Irelia. That's the good thing with this Sunken Temple. It keeps a steady stream of cards for Clinton as long as he gets to keep on conquering over and over and over again.
Honestly, each additional card for Irelia is much more helpful than
Every card for a Volibear. Because Volibear can only cast 1 card a turn, essentially.
So even though they both can use it, it's definitely way better for Irelia now that we've been, watching the gameplay.
And it's going to go to 4 points for Clinton, taking down this Minotaur. Finally has some semblance of just stabilizing here. The question is there going to be a third Dead Bloom Predator? We've seen the first be horrible. We've seen the second one just be an obnoxious threat, but will the third one reach its ugly head? Will Allen have it?
He'll finally be able to kill the Irelia.
Will he, though? There's 3 mana available. Clinton has been doing a great job of keeping the queen alive.
The rebuke right there.
Only a couple seconds left in time.
Oh, you're completely right. When they did the Defiant Dance, he didn't pay
it wasn't full enough. Yeah,
he didn't pay for the deflect on the Dead Bloom Predator. You are totally right.
Uh-oh. And this is not where Allen wants to be. Allen wants to play a threat onto the... This is a threat on the board, but he wants to play basically an accelerated threat. Clinton could potentially win over these next 2 turns. He's going to 5, he's going to go to 6, and more importantly, he's going to run over to the Sunken Temple and draw another card. And we've said it multiple times that this matchup is if the Irelia runs out of cards, it is near impossible for them to for them to win the game.
Also, I just think he didn't have that much better things to do with his mana than play the Predator.
Going to 6, and right now it is going to be overtime. So, oh man, he just drew a not so fast. Also, I really think
he has a charm in there, not so fast. Charm's not that good right now.
Yeah, I think
it's kind of whatever.
I like the charm here still, solely because it just, how do I say it? No, but we've already seen Magma Worm, huh? So that no, we haven't seen Magma Worm. Yeah, for sure. I want to charm that. Let's see what he has.
Oh my gosh, if he has an actual, what could he have?
Okay, I can see his hand. He has what is it called? Oh no, I can't see it anymore. But he had, I believe it was a Thunder Song.
So he does have the Thunder Song in his deck. I feel like the Minotaurs would be really good if he didn't draw Boots every game.
Boots, yeah. Boots is definitely an answer. Yeah, that's exactly how it is. Aurora is one of these polarizing decks where it's like you either have a great opening or a terrible opening. And normally the really good Aurora decks, like the purple Aurora decks, they have card filter. They have ways to see more cards. Sadly, this Volibear deck does not have an access to a lot of card draw, which potentially has a lot of things. But honestly, this is where Alan wants to be right now, activating a Sabotage to look at Clinton's hand to try to get rid of it. And let's see, 2 not so fast, a Defy, another copy of Boots, and a Defiant Dance.
What do you take out, the Defy?
I'm not going to lie. I'm surprised that...
Actually, Defy can't hit the Sky Splitter.
I'm just surprised that Clinton just didn't off the rip Defy. There's not that many cards that are defiable 100%. But, so basically what Alan is saying is he probably can win through fighting because all these spells that target don't do anything. But Clinton has an Emperor's Divide here. I think he's just going to activate it. Reaction speed. Let's see if he will do it.
Oh, Thunder Song.
And it is going to be the Emperor's Divide, which is going to pull the Irelia back. And Clinton had not necessarily the foresight, but Clinton does have a Boots in his hand. He has another way to target. So he has the ability to double conquer next turn. Alan is on the back foot. I'm not going to lie. If I was that's the thing. I was going to say if I was Alan, maybe run up first and then play a Thunder Song on one of the battlefields already. But that plays into something like a Ride the Wind. So potentially that might have not been the move. But as we stand right now, it looks like Alan might be dead on board to this Irelia. And guess what happens when it's not an Aspirant's game? This Irelia is able to take it down. But let's see if Clinton can see the line, if it is really game here. And showing the true power of a Heart of Dark Ice. So now Clinton just has to make sure to play around everything. He has double not so fast. So he is basically protected from a lot of stuff. And he has Heart of Dark Ice here.
Targeting this early?
I think that's fine because we know that Clinton has the Boots in his hand.
But then we can't play double not so fast if we Boots.
Oh, that is true.
So we need 4 mana. So he might have drawn a 1 mana spell. Maybe he has
like another On Guard or a Defiant Dance.
Because other than that, I kind of like keeping Dark Ice.
I feel like Clinton knows where the camera is because sometimes he just be looking at us.
He's definitely doing it on purpose. The camera is like right in their face, so.
And it's gone to 7. Ooh, Clinton drawing a card. That is spooky. All right, looks like it's going to be a Boots. Or, oh, it's going to be just a Ride the Wind here.
Now he only has one Not So Fast. Hourglass. Okay, okay.
Into Ride the Wind.
That's kind of cool.
Actually,
because
no, yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind that. Because
you ride the wind, he dies, you can go back up anyway.
It's still up, yeah. I like that play. I like this. I like
Actually,
this.
doesn't Zoni's Hourglass exhaust
Exhaust
it?
it.
So it will de-ready anyway. I'm pretty sure it 100% does exhaust it.
Is that going to be game? And that is going to be game. Clinton takes it down. That game one cluster buck of a game where double aspirants climb coming down. But you know what? The mountain was a little too tall. It was forgotten. And now Clinton takes it down. Clinton wins. It is Irelia up and up. And that is round.